You know, I wasn't really even sure I wanted to watch this one. It just seemed kinda bland to me. And the beginning didn't really impress me that much either. But Regina Hall kept me engaged. And this whole thing is basically the Regina Hall show. This is her movie, start to finish. She took whatever she had to work with and crushed it. And at first I wasn't liking the script. I thought she was basically working with very little. I mean, it was okay. I actually wrote down perfectly mediocre script in my notes. But then as the story progressed, I had to amend it to fairly mediocre script. And then by the end of it, I had to admit that it wasn't so mediocre at all. It's actually a very good script. And the story that starts out very simple turns out to be a bit more complex and clever than I thought it would be. That being said, it's not exactly groundbreaking or reinventing the wheel, but it does have some unexpected layers to it, and everything fits together very neatly. There's really no pointless storylines or unnecessary characters. If it's on screen, it probably matters. And this movie and Pincushion I just reviewed just confirm what I've been saying for years. Most movies don't need to be over 90 minutes. So what's the movie actually about? It's about a manager of a steakhouse, or family restaurant, or sports bar. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm pretty sure they call it a sports bar. But it looks a lot more like a restaurant to me. Not that that really matters. What matters is that it's called Double Whammies, and the waiting staff wear skimpy outfits. And that's what draws in customers. Anyway, she's the manager there, and she's great at her job. But things in life aren't going her way. There's just one issue after another, at work and in her private life. And you get the feel that it's unsustainable. Something's gotta give. But what gives and in what way is a bit more interesting than I'd expected. And turns out this movie has a lot of heart too. By the time the credits rolled, I was feeling all warm and fuzzy and happy inside. Even if the ending is a bit bittersweet. And a lot of that has to do with the script. But it's also Regina Hall and the rest of the cast. Because Regina Hall kept it interesting when not much else was going on. I mean, she's just fantastic in this. But the rest of the cast were really good too. It's a very, very solid cast. And most of them didn't really have that much to do, but they still did whatever little they had to do well. And from a technical standpoint, this movie is fine, I guess. I don't really have any complaints. It looked good and was well shot. And the director let Regina Hall do her thing. Let her have a few long takes here and there. There's no weird edits or anything either. And the soundtrack was pretty good too. But I mean, the cast really carried the movie and elevated it. I could see the same movie being made with a worse cast, and then you'd have nothing. You'd have a truly mediocre movie, if that. And if you had another guy directing it, someone who didn't understand the material and how important the cast was, this thing would have probably ended up being pretty terrible. Thankfully it's not. It's actually really good. You know, sometimes a movie is just good. And it shows that you don't have to reinvent the wheel or really do anything that different to make a good movie. Take a pretty simple, straightforward story, nothing fancy or crazy, get some good actors, and you can end up with a pretty damn good movie. And a movie about a restaurant manager just dealing with everyday life shouldn't be this compelling. But it is, and I liked it a lot. So would I recommend it? Sure, check it out. Or don't. I'm not your boss.